Hello, my name is Kevin Patton and I'm a therapist in Hackney. We may not have caused our problems, but we do have a responsibility to change things for the better. What we put in our bodies affects our minds, so paying attention to this is a great way of starting to feel better, sleep better, and start taking our lives back. What we put in our bodies affects our minds. This is the 10th session in the program. We will begin the session in a few minutes, but first we're going to spend some time coming into the room and getting ready to work. Take a moment to settle into your posture and make yourself comfortable. Close your eyes. Your goal in this exercise is to become deeply self-aware, aware first of your body and then of your mind. Make it your aim, step by step, to contemplate things as deeply as possible. Self-awareness can become a pathway to deeper self-control and self-mastery. For the sake of this exercise, welcome any sounds you hear or sensations you feel as part of the process. Don't try to concentrate, block things from your mind, or force yourself to relax. Just allow yourself to acknowledge anything that passes through your awareness and treat it as an opportunity to deepen your mindfulness by patiently observing how you react, moment by moment, to various experiences. Do your best to stay awake. However, even if you fall asleep, that's okay. You'll still get some benefit. In other words, just go with the flow of things. You can analyze and evaluate things later. For now, just keep patiently bringing your awareness back to the present moment, the here and now of your experience. From time to time, it may be helpful to imagine you are gently smiling to yourself inside, perhaps even allowing a hint of a smile to spread across your face and eyes. Accepting all of your experiences and feeling contentment and happiness here in the present moment. Continue to feel self-acceptance and warmth towards yourself. Forget about the past. Forget about the future. Forget about everything else and rest your mind on the flow of your awareness. Now, begin by being aware of the whole of your body as one. From the top of your head, all the way down into your fingers, down into your toes. Be aware of your body as one. Every nerve, muscle, and fiber. Don't try to change anything. Don't try to stop anything from changing. Sometimes things change just by being observed. Self-awareness brings natural harmony and balance back into the body. Be passive, a detached observer, just content to notice what you notice. Feel what you feel. From time to time, I'll give you a few moments of silence to deepen your contemplation in your own way. Take a few moments now to become more aware of your body as one. Now, allow your breath to guide you deeper into self-awareness. Notice the sensations of your breathing. Notice the belly rise and fall. Notice the chest rise and fall. The rib cage expanding and relaxing. Notice even the faintest sensations, even the tiniest feelings caused by the breath around the sides of the waist, the sides of the chest, beside the arms. Perhaps if you pay deep attention to your breath, you may even notice some feelings in the lower back, the upper back, the neck, and the shoulders. Maybe even sensations elsewhere in the body that accompany the breathing. Now be aware of the whole process of breathing, all of the sensations as one. Be aware of the rhythm of the breath. Don't try to change the breathing. Don't try to stop it from changing. Just be a passive observer. Let the body do the breathing all by itself. If your mind wanders, that's okay. Just keep bringing it back to your breathing. That cycle of spotting when your mind wanders, calmly accepting the fact, and patiently bringing it back to the here and now, the flow of your experience. This is the essence of mindfulness. Now let your breath guide you deeper into awareness of the body. Imagine that with each and every breath, your awareness is expanding, growing deeper and deeper, becoming more and more comfortably absorbed in the feelings of the body, the here and now. Turn your attention to the sensations in your legs. Begin at the top with the hips, joints, thigh muscles. Be aware both of your breathing and of the sensations in your hips. Let your awareness spread over the surface of your skin, deep into the muscles, and even into the bones and the joints. Now let your awareness spread slowly down through the thighs, on through the upper legs, down deep into the knees, through the lower legs, the calves, shins, ankles, down into the feet, over each of the toes, one by one, to the very soles of the feet, into the many bones of the feet. Be aware of both legs now as one. Imagine your breath deepening your awareness of the sensations in your legs, both legs in parallel. Let the breath guide your awareness deeper and deeper into your body. Mind becoming more patiently absorbed in even the smallest feelings here and now. Turn your attention now to the arms. Begin at the top, deep inside the shoulder joints and muscles. Let your awareness go deeper as it spreads over the shoulders, into the upper arms, down deep into the elbow joints, through the forearms, down into the wrists, the hands, knuckles, the fingers, through each of the fingers in turn, one by one, into the many bones of the hands. Be aware of both arms now as one. Imagine your breathing deepening your awareness of the sensations in your arms. Both arms in parallel. Let your breath guide your awareness deeper and deeper into the body. mind becoming more patiently absorbed in even the smallest feelings, here and now. Become aware of the arms and legs together as one. Imagine every breath is gently deepening, expanding your awareness of the body. Now turn your attention to the trunk of the body. Begin at the top, deep between the neck and the shoulders. Let your awareness grow as it spreads deep between the shoulder blades, down through every segment of your backbone in turn. Over and under the ribs, deep into the chest, right down into the belly. Deep into the very core of the body. Become aware of the whole trunk of the body as one. Imagine your breath deepening your awareness of the sensations in your chest and abdomen, in the very core of the body, guiding your awareness deeper and deeper into the body. Your mind becoming more patiently absorbed in even the smallest feelings, here and now. Next, turn your attention to the head and neck. Begin at the top, the crown of the head. Let your awareness expand gently over the scalp and down the back of the neck, spreading across the forehead, down over the temples, the cheeks, over the mouth, into the eyes. Be aware of the whole of the head, neck, and face as one. And your breath, deepening your awareness of sensations in the head and neck, facial expression, things in the eyes, guiding your awareness deeper and deeper into the body, becoming more patient to absorb even the smallest feelings here and now. Now, become aware once again of the body as a whole, body as one. Become aware of your breathing. And imagine the breath is guiding your awareness of the whole body, continuously deeper, deeper. Let your body do the breathing. Let go. Let the breathing draw your awareness deeper into the body, more absorbed in the body as a whole. If your mind wanders, that's okay. Just patiently bring it back to your breathing. Now, take a few moments to contemplate the flow of your experiences more deeply in your own way. Now, turn your attention even deeper towards your mind, to consciousness itself, all the time aware of your breathing. The breath is a mirror of the emotions. When you're emotional, people can usually hear it in the sound of your voice, the sound of your breath channeled through your vocal cords. When the body is tense, the breath is tense. When relaxed, the breath is relaxed. Be aware right now the mood, the breath, the emotional tone, character of your breathing pattern. Take a few moments to contemplate your emotions and your breath more deeply in your own way in silence. Now turn your attention to your thinking. Emotions are the space within which thoughts grow. Emotions shape our thinking. Our mood colors our thinking, and our thoughts, in turn, can influence our mood. Become more aware of your thoughts, judgments, attitudes, opinions, and beliefs. Of anything you say to yourself in your mind, become mindful even of unspoken thoughts at the back of your mind. Notice deliberate thoughts or ones that just happen to cross your mind. Don't judge them, just accept the fact that they are happening and allow yourself to become a detached observer of your own stream of consciousness. Notice in particular how you respond to your thoughts as they occur, moment by moment. How you feel about them as they happen. Now take a few moments to contemplate your thoughts and feelings more deeply in your own way in silence. You have a body, but you are more than your body. You have emotions. You are more than your emotions. You have desires, but you are more than your desires. You have thoughts, but you are more than your thoughts. You are much more than any of these things. And you can step back and observe them. Even things that seem very close to your center, you can distance and detach yourself from everything and just watch the flow of your experiences. You are more than anything you can observe. Now take a few moments to contemplate your breathing in your own way, to become a detached observer of whatever enters your mind. In a moment, you're going to finish this exercise and move ahead into the room around you and the tasks at hand, bringing a sense of deep self-awareness and inner calm into your life and into your actions. Think about the room around you. Think about action, movement. Think about looking around and getting your bearings, raising your head a little. Now begin to breathe a bit more deeply, a little bit more energetically, let your body feel more alive and ready for action. Breathe energy into your body. Breathe a little deeper and deeper again until you're ready to take a deep breath. Open your eyes, emerge slowly from the exercise, taking your mindfulness and self-awareness forward into your life. Beginning now, take a deep breath. Open your eyes now. We're going to continue with our session. The last session was about exercise, the second element in the self-care skill set. This session is about looking what we put in our bodies, the third element of the skill set. And we will look at finding your flow in a later session. In this session, we're going to review how using alcohol or non-prescribed drugs to help you will only add to your problems. We will look at how vitamins and minerals affect mood. We'll go over in some detail how sugar and salt impact on our physical and mental health. Generally, emotions tend to come in two ways. And when we bring drink and drugs into the mix, the clean emotions we feel in response to what's happening are warning signals that something isn't going right. Start to go wrong. We can get into repeated patterns where negative emotions form the reasons for drinking and taking drugs. And the thing we do creates situations that we feel negative about. Drinking and using drugs can make those feelings worse and also create situations that add further problems. Feeling angry, drinking or use, ending up in a fight. This can end up spiraling out of control and becomes a spiral that contributes to people losing their jobs, family, friends. This increase in our feelings of self-loneliness, depression, anxiety, anger, low self-worth just keeps spinning it down and down. So I'm going to give you the name of a drug. And I'd like you to think about what kind of drug it is. For example, if you think that cocaine is a stimulant, maybe write stimulant on a piece of paper beside you. Just remember, if you think that mescaline is a stimulant with hallucinogenic properties, you can write that down. So, diazepam. Diazepam is a depressant with antipsychotic properties. Alcohol. Alcohol is a depressant. Some people think it's a stimulant. We'll go into the reasons why later, but it is a depressant. Its overall effect on the brain and the body is to bring it down. Heroin. Heroin's a depressant. Again, it's an opiate. The effect of the opiate is to shut us down. Ketamine. Ketamine is a depressant with hallucinogenic properties. It's a dissociative drug. Okay, sertraline. Sertraline is a stimulant with antipsychotic properties. Cocaine. Yeah, you got that. Cocaine is a stimulant. Caffeine. Yeah, surprise, surprise. Caffeine is also a stimulant. Quetiapine. Quetiapine is an antipsychotic. MDMA. Right, no, this is ecstasy. MDMA is a stimulant of hallucinogenic properties. It alters perception. Okay, scopolamine. Scopolamine is an hallucinogenic. It is a deliriant drug. It was used a lot during the Second World War as a truth serum. Because it made it very difficult for the person to concentrate and keep track of what they were saying. Right, nicotine. What do you think nicotine is? Nicotine is a stimulant with depressive and antipsychotic properties. It's a cholinergic drug. Nicotine exerts rewarding effects by activating acetylcholine receptors. Okay, this is how medics designate the different drugs that are available. So different chemicals are released in our body when we feel different emotions. When we take drugs, they upset that balance to either greatly amplify or suppress our feelings. Given time, our bodies reset, but until they do, our feelings will be a lot stronger. So we're going to look at stimulants. Cocaine, people take it for energy, confidence, focus, euphoria. Downsides of taking it, paranoia and aggression. When you take cocaine, it releases serotonin, it also releases adrenaline. Serotonin wears off pretty quickly, but the adrenaline hangs around. So adrenaline will hang around your body for about 90 minutes unless you keep charging it and keep it going. So while you start with energy and confidence, you end up getting into fight or flight activation. People experience a bit of paranoia, talk about this being prime. Remember, adrenaline disinhibits you, so you're more likely to act on these feelings, and this is where the aggression can come out. Heroin. We take heroin to feel calm, relaxed, get a sense of euphoria. The downsides are you feel drowsy, and then you get constipation. You can actually overdose on heroin and die. So hallucinogens like LSD, we take it because we want energy, altered perceptions, some of the difficulties that we get when we take LSD is we fuse with our emotions. We feel it, it must be real. It's not. It's just a bunch of chemicals going off in your head. But we become really fused with those emotions and get into big, long mirror trips or phone trips, or LSD takes a long time to work its way through your system. It's a bit of time to take effect, and then you've got it for a good long time. And you can, by coming fused with what emotions are coming, you can have what people call a bad trip. You should really take LSD when you're in company, if you're going to take it at all. So antipsychotics, such as olanzapine, people take it to get relief from psychotic symptoms. And the negative, unwanted effects are drowsiness and weight gain. Antipsychotics are heavy, heavy tranquilizers. The old name for them was neuroleptics. They basically slow down the rate at which the neurons fire off each other in the brain, slowing you down. And that's the feeling of drowsiness. So we're going to be looking at this stuff in a little bit more detail, but we're going to move on just now into alcohol. So this is the physical effects, the short-term physical effects of excessive alcohol consumption. You can see that in the short term, alcohol can have some very serious effects on your body. We're looking at the longer term effects. You see that it just keeps coming. If that wasn't bad enough, something called Wernicke's encephalopathy. It's created by a deficiency of thiamine that causes hemorrhages in the midbrain around the walls of the ventricle and mammalian bodies. Korsakoff psychosis is the chronic form of Wernicke's encephalopathy. It's a bit like alcoholic Alzheimer's. Weirdly, usually comes on its worst when you withdraw from alcohol. So we're going to look at what a detox is, because withdrawal from alcohol can be very dangerous. So usually it's 7 to 12 days. We put you first of all on a substitute, which is usually one of the benzodiazepines. compensate for the neuroadaptation that's taking place. So we're going to look at what we put in our body that isn't generally regarded as a drug, but they have effects on it. Coffee and tea, for example, stimulate the adrenal response in our body, which can provoke anxiety, nervousness, insomnia, just to name a few side effects. Recommended dosage is less than 100 milligrams per day, 1 cup of percolated coffee or 2 diet cola beverages per day. Less, 50 mils is preferable, so that's half that. Try to reduce your intake of sweet, refined foods, as these affect your blood sugar and can also lead to anxiety and mood swings, while affecting how the brain functions. Beware of prescription drugs. That contain caffeine and amphetamines, and recreational drugs such as cocaine increase levels of anxiety and panic attacks in people using it. Nicotine is as strong as caffeine. It stimulates increased physiological arousal, vasoconstriction, makes your heart work harder. Smokers tend to be more anxious than non-smokers and tend to sleep less well than non-smokers. Salt depletes the body's potassium, a mineral important to the proper functioning of the nervous system. Salt raises blood pressure that in turn puts a strain on the heart and the arteries and hastens arteriosclerosis. Recommended dosage: do not exceed 1 gram of salt per day. Now we can also put good things in our body. Soda water increases the level of carbon dioxide that helps the body become balanced when someone is hyperventilating. Soda water also decreases the smooth muscle contractions and dilates blood vessels, which allows the blood to flow more easily around the body, and the heart slows down. B-complex vitamins help provide energy by acting with enzymes to convert major nutrients such as carbohydrates into energy forms. A deficiency of certain B vitamins will also cause fatigue, irritability, nervousness, depression, insomnia, a lack of appetite. You can find vitamin B in marmite, mushrooms, and milk. And remember what we were talking about, the effects of alcohol. Alcohol destroys vitamin B. Vitamin B is a water-soluble vitamin. You have to take it in every day. The body doesn't hold on to it. Calcium works with the maintenance of electrolyte balance, muscle contractions, nerve transmission, regulation of cell division, hormone secretion, bone and teeth density and formation. Deficiency can cause agitation, depression, heart palpitations, insomnia, and irritability. You can find calcium in milk, cheese, and oats. Magnesium aids with muscle relaxation, maintenance of the heart muscle, neuromuscular transmission, and the widening of blood vessels. Deficiency in magnesium can cause you to become agitated, experience anxiety, behavioral disturbances, confusion, cold hands and feet, depression, insomnia, and restlessness. You can find magnesium in baked potatoes, baked beans, peas, peanut butter, baked potatoes, and bananas. Omega-3 is an essential fatty acid that is helpful in cases of anxiety. You can find omega-3 in salmon, flaxseed, walnuts, and the seeds in caneberries, which are raspberries and blackberries. When zinc is low, copper in the body can increase to toxic levels, resulting in paranoia and fearfulness. You can find zinc in sesame seeds, tahini, peanuts, dark chocolate, and roast pumpkin seeds. Deficiency in vitamin C reduces the production of neurotransmitters associated with anxiety. Neurotransmitters are chemicals in your brain that communicate between nerve cells and affect your mood and sleep. You can find vitamin C in sprouts, tomatoes, citrus fruits. Now, the herb valerian is native to Europe and Asia. It grows up to 4 feet high and has trumpet-shaped flowers. It has been used since at least the time of the ancient Greeks and the Romans as a folk remedy for a variety of conditions such as sleeping problems, digestive complaints, nervousness, trembling, tension, headaches, and heart palpitations. Valerian appears to increase the body's available supply of the neurotransmitter gamma aminobutyric acid, GABA for short, GABA, possibly by increasing its production, decreasing its absorption, or slowing down its breakdown. Although it is less effective than prescription sleep medication, it may not have as much of a hangover effect on mental or physical functioning the following day. Also, people taking sleeping pills sometimes have a temporary worsening of insomnia when they are discontinued, an effect that hasn't been reported with valerian. It's important to know that prolonged use of valerian is bad for the liver. Now, passion flower is a woody vine that bears small berry-like fruit called grandula. The brightly coloured flowers and above-ground portions of the passion flower vine are used to derive medicinal compounds that relax the central nervous system and promote emotional balance. In clinical studies, the active components of passion flower have been shown to provide positive support for occasional nervousness, nervous tension, anxiety, restlessness, and occasional sleep difficulties. Chrysin, that's the active ingredient, is a monoflavonoid considered to be the primary active component derived from passion flower. In laboratory settings, scientists have demonstrated that chrysin acts as a partial agonist for the same GABA receptors in the brain triggered by benzodiazepine. Although the precise mechanism of action is not clearly understood, it is thought that the combination of the flavonoids in passion flower contribute to its effectiveness as an anxiolytic, helping promote relaxation, soothe tension, and relieve occasional anxiety, panic caused by emotional stress. Like valerian, prolonged use of passion flower damages the liver. Now, passion flower, it's a big molecule. It takes a while to cross the blood-brain barrier. So you'll find that a lot of folk remedies, a lot of sleep teas, infusions will combine valerian with passion flower. So the valerian acts more quickly, and then the passion flower kicks in and gives you the sustained effect. you want to know more about herbal teas, infusions, give me a call, contact me. Now, the tryptophan that you find in milk is essential for the making, manufacture of serotonin. It's converted into 5-HTP, which is in turn combined with other vitamins to become serotonin. Talking about vitamin C. There's ample evidence that tryptophan depletion causes reduced synthesis of serotonin, which can result in increased anxiety and depression. It's important, if you're taking any other anti-anxiety drugs or antidepressants, do not take tryptophan or 5-HTP without supervision from a professional, because it can give an increase and cause an effective overdose of the anxiety drug or the antidepressant. So we're going to talk a little bit about sugar. If you drank a 12-ounce regular soda every day for a year, how much sugar would that be? The answer is 24 pounds. That's 12 bags of sugar. You could lose up to 15 pounds in a year by switching from a can of regular Coke to water or another calorie-free drink. There are 150 calories in every can of Coke. So what's wrong with sugar? It's natural, isn't it? Well, added sugar contains no essential nutrients. It's bad for your teeth. Added sugar is high in fructose, which can overload your liver. Overloading the liver with fructose can cause non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Sugar can cause insulin resistance, a stepping stone towards metabolic syndrome and diabetes. Insulin resistance can progress to type 2 diabetes. Sugar can give you cancer. It's one of the leading causes of death worldwide. Is characterized by uncontrolled growth and multiplication of cells. Insulin is one of the key hormones in regulating this sort of growth. For this reason, many scientists believe that having constantly elevated insulin levels, consequence of sugar consumption, can contribute to cancer. In addition, the metabolic problems associated with sugar consumption are a known driver of inflammation and other potential sources of cancer. Multiple studies show that people who eat a lot of sugar are at a much higher risk of getting cancer. Due to its effects on hormones in the brain, sugar has unique fat-promoting effects. Because it causes massive dopamine release in the brain, sugar is highly addictive. It's the leading contributor to obesity, both in children and adults. It ain't the fat, it's the sugar that raises your cholesterol and gives you heart disease. Many decades, people have blamed the saturated fat for heart disease, which is the #1 killer in the world. However, new studies are showing that saturated fat is harmless. The effect And the evidence is mounting that sugar, not fat, may be one of the leading drivers of heart disease by the harmful effects of fructose on the metabolism. Studies show that large amounts of fructose can raise triglycerides, small, dense LDL, and oxidized LDL. Very, very bad. Raise your blood glucose and insulin levels and increase the abdominal obesity in as little as 10 weeks. These are all major risk factors for heart disease. So we're going to have a bit of a quiz. 5 grams of sugar is about 1 heaped teaspoon. So how many teaspoons of sugar do you think you get in a Mars bar? There's 6.5 teaspoons of sugar in 1 bar. So jelly babies, 215-gram bag of jelly babies. 32 spoons of sugar in a bag of jelly babies. Standard tube of Polo, what do you reckon? 6.5, same as a Mars bar. You don't think that, do you? Little tube of mints. You're basically taking a Mars bar. All brown honey and oats. One of these healthy bran bars. 2. It's not so bad. So what about cornflakes? Or no, a fruit and fiber bar. 3. Cornflakes. 2 is the same as your honey and bran oats bar. Who'd have thought that? Frosties. 3. Half a Mars bar. Cocoa Pops. 3. So what about these bourbon cream biscuits? You might find them in meetings or sitting around reception areas if you're lucky. Every biscuit is a teaspoonful of sugar. Now what about these go-ahead blackberry apple bakes, these healthy bars that you're meant to be eating? 2. Every one of those, 2 teaspoonfuls of sugar. Right, what about a can of Coca-Cola? 7. Every can of Coke you're drinking, you're chomping down more than a Mars bar's worth of sugar. Lucozade. Sports drink. 5. Not as bad as a can of Coke, but wow, it's up there. What about tin of beans? Or spaghetti? 3. Tin of beans? 2. Every time you eat a tin of beans, you're putting in 2 teaspoonfuls of sugar in your body. And the fruit shoot, blackcurrant raspberry, favorite of lunch packs? 5. Every kid take one of those to school. It's knocking back 5 teaspoonfuls of sugar. Take pity on the teachers. Okay, so what are we going to do with all this information? Well, Remember, we looked at the chemistry of feelings. We're going to take a look at what we can do to start riding the wave and move our lives in the direction we want to go. So these were the things we were looking at when we were taking drugs. We wanted energy, confidence, focus, euphoria. We wanted to feel calm. We wanted to feel relaxed. We wanted relief from the stress that we associate with psychosis. So when you want energy and confidence and focus, adrenaline is the way to go. To get this high energy activity with a bit of risk involved, we'll deliver it. Competitive sports hit this button really hard. Another way is to get the adrenaline pumping, is to do what athletes and boxers and footballers do: rapid shallow breathing, tensing the arms, the upper body, reduces the amount of oxygen that you're taking in and going up into your brain. Body wants the heart to beat faster to keep pumping the oxygen up to the brain, and it does so by releasing adrenaline. When we want to feel more calm and relaxed, endorphins will deliver that. Those of you who've done sessions on anxiety and anger might remember that endorphins neutralize adrenaline. Endorphins are released when we put muscles under stress. So heavy cardio will do that. Trouble is that muscles become toned and it takes more and more exercise to get them triggering the endorphin release. That's where diaphragmatic breathing comes in. When we want to feel good, we're looking at getting some serotonin going. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter that responds to significance. Planning, pleasant activities, doing what you plan, and being mindful of experiences all stimulate the release of serotonin. So what about the others? Dopamine, noradrenaline, and oxytocin. Well, dopamine is part of the body's reward and reinforcement mechanism. Those new things you're doing turn out to be good for you. Your body releases dopamine to get you doing more of them. Oxytocin is released through skin on skin contact. Hugging and massage are the classic ways of getting oxytocin released. Interestingly, it doesn't even have to be a person. Stroking a dog or a cat will work just fine. That's why we started introducing pets into old people's homes. The general function of noradrenaline is to mobilize the brain and body for action. Release is lowest during sleep, rising during wakefulness, and reaches much higher levels during situations of stress or danger, in the so-called fight or flight response. In the brain, noradrenaline increases arousal and alertness, promotes vigilance, enhances formation and retrieval of memory, and focuses attention. Activities that stimulate the release of adrenaline will also get your noradrenaline going. Small changes make a big difference. So let's look at replacing sugar with some healthier alternatives. Instead of choosing sweet breakfast cereals, try whole grain cereals that don't have frosting or added sugars. Add fresh fruit and a few almonds for extra flavor, a bit of crunch. Instead of drinking sugary soft drinks and fruit juices, drink water or unsweetened iced tea, or maybe with a bit of lemon juice. Instead of eating big portions of sweet desserts, try a piece of fresh fruit, or split a small dessert with a friend. Instead of taking tinned fruit packed in syrup, try tinned fruit labeled packed in natural juice, or just actually have some fresh or frozen fruit. Now, salt depletes the body's potassium, a mineral important in the proper functioning of the nervous system. It raises blood pressure, that in turn puts a strain on the heart and arteries and hastens arteriosclerosis. The recommended dosage should not exceed 1 gram of salt per day. Many of us in the UK eat way too much salt. Too much salt can raise your blood pressure, which puts you at increased risk of health problems such as heart disease and stroke. But a few simple steps can help you cut your salt intake. You don't have to add salt to food to be eating too much. 75% of the salt we eat is already in everyday foods such as bread, breakfast cereals, and ready meals. Diets high in salt can cause raised blood pressure, which currently affects around a third of adults in the UK. High blood pressure often has no symptoms, but if you have it, you're more likely to develop heart disease or have a stroke. Cutting down on salt lowers blood pressure and reduces the risk of having a stroke or developing heart disease. So these foods are all high in salt. Anchovies, bacon, cheese. Eat less of these. The ones on the right, they're risky. Read the label. Some are higher than others. All my favorite foods are there, to be honest. So keep the taste, reduce the salt. Studies show that if you're black and of African or Caribbean origin, you're twice as likely to have a stroke at a younger age than white people. The reason for this is complex and not completely understood. What we do know is that if you're black and of African or Caribbean origin, you're more likely to develop high blood pressure or diabetes or have sickle cell disease, which are all risk factors of stroke. Too much salt can increase your blood pressure, and you shouldn't eat more than 6 grams or a teaspoonful of salt in a day. This is particularly important if you're black or Caribbean, as research shows you are likely to be much more sensitive to the effects of salt. Much of the salt we eat is hidden in processed foods like ready meals, crisps, salt, nuts, cake, biscuits, as well as in salt fish, corned beef, bacon, salt pork, and processed meals. So instead of buying already prepared meals and processed meats, try making more meals out of fresh, lean meats, fresh, frozen, or low sodium tinned vegetables. Instead of eating frozen or delivery pizza, make a veggie pizza at home using fresh veg, small amount of cheese, and no salt added tomato sauce. Instead of choosing your regular tinned vegetables, try going for fresh veggies or frozen veg without sauces. Use herbs to add flavor. Choose tinned vegetables that are labelled no salt added. Instead of adding salt to foods for flavour, try seasoning them with herbs, spices, chilies, lime or lemon juice, and vinegar. So these are some of the herbs and spices that you can use. Pre-mixed flavorings such as jerk seasoning or curry powders all can also be very high in salt. So try using fresh ginger, lemon juice, and chilies, or dried herbs and spices like paprika or pimento to flavor your food instead. Also adding salt to food when you're cooking. Also avoid adding salt to food when you're cooking or at the table. So, we looked at a lot today. We looked at how what we put in our bodies affects our minds. We practiced body scan. We spent some time looking at drugs and alcohol, salt, and sugar, and we looked at some alternatives. There's quite a lot to take in. How might you use this stuff to help you move forward to the life you want to live? This is my email and my phone number. Please feel free to contact me if you have any thoughts or questions about any of the things we've discussed. Thanks a lot for watching.